I'm just gonna shoot the breeze. I'm just gonna shot people. I mean, again, what do you do on a gray and rainy day and a bizarre Friday? It's just downright ballistic what's been going on lately.
Hmm.
I guess you could say the same thing about Impact Wrestling. I mean, battle stations galore. You got everybody coming in from all foundations, NJPW, Bullet Club. You got Triple R being represented. You got them boys, Ring of Honor's greatest. What the heck else is going to happen? I friggin' just got through going for 4 different places, 3 Ubers, 8 hours of work, trying to play a game, trying to watch AEW. Everything right now is just gone freaking to warfare. But I digress. Okay, maybe I'm going off a tangent here, but I digress. It's my platform. Who gives a damn? Attention! Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another Simple and Powerful Duo. You know what this is, for I am the Simple Man, and my name is Noah Foster. With me, as always, he is the man of 1,000 last names. It is Jerry Under Siege this time, as we're going to once again talk about Impact Wrestling. Jerry, how are you this Friday near evening?
I'm doing superb. Like, I'm seeing all these different changes going on, all these companies at this point. Impact is kind of like a catalyst for all of it. Like, you have people like Impact is the forbidden door at this point. Everybody just
Yeah.
floats in, floats out to all these different areas, and it's just insane to watch. But what they have right now is a solid card for Under Siege, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, no kidding. The stat card, again, these monthly specials, they are right up there, maybe above and beyond pay-per-view quality. Some other companies even, too. Especially this weekend, but I digress.
The last couple ones I've actually seen have they're up there with some of my favorite takeovers. So that's
There you
actually
go.
says a lot.
Yeah, again, and there's always like at least one match or one fight or one show you could take away. That being said, it's Friday night, evening, afternoon, and you know what that means. Hello, good old JR and Excalibur, as we were also, of course, talking about AEW Rampage. And again, folks, I'll be talking more about that with Jess Cindy on the Daily Slam tomorrow. Stay tuned for more on that. But that being said, yes, once again, it is Impact Wrestling's time to shine, and they are going under siege. This Saturday, if you are an Impact Ultimate Insider, you could catch this special on YouTube for the mere price of, I think it's like $10 or $5, one of the two. Or you could also purchase this on the Fight TV app. And again, with this being Mother's Day weekend, I think there's going to be anything but subtle love when it comes to this stacked 10 card show. With that being said, folks, your opinions matter. Come join the league. The forum is live on my Twitter, and also it is in the description down below. It'll also be on the banner too. And for those that are continuing, good luck to all of you, including you, Jerry. You and I, we'll see what happens. As right now, the current champion, two-time champion of the league, Scott Gaeta, defends the gold this time. But shout out to those that keep participating and are doing very well, like you, Mark, Lex, Chumbawumba. I get knocked down. Oh, sorry, non-copyright strike. Dwayne Atkinson, Kyle, Cindy, of course, Ronnie Wasbury, Big in Space. That's quite a name. And so many others too. I hope y'all keep enjoying the fun and keep enjoying the platform too. But I
I'm,
think our
I'm in
friend,
the top quarter, so I'm happy.
yeah, I was about to say you're doing very well in Impact Wrestling. We'll see how you do in AEW very soon too, as we continue that with Double or Nothing. But that being said, let's get right into it. So again, this is Under Siege, and they gave us 10 matches. 2 of them will be on the countdown, free for all to see on YouTube. So why don't we go ahead and start with one of those. As the quintessential diva, Giselle Shaw takes on Madison Rain one-on-one with Tenille Dashwood. But according to an Impact exclusive, Giselle Shaw might have somebody in her corner in a great friend, the lovely Alicia Edwards. So I feel like this kind of writes itself, because when I look at this match, you think about maybe who could challenge next for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships that are very much a thing. And again, all the best to my girls, Cassidy and Jessica McKay, the inspiration, whatever future you pursue and do. Thank you for all you gave to Tag Team Wrestling, Impact and beyond too. Slay your day, always. Forever iconic, but I digress. That being said, we saw with the help of Madison Rain, Shell Shaw was able to get a victory over Tenille Dashwood this past week in Impact Wrestling on BTI. I feel like here you gotta try and set up some sort of tag feud, and Alicia has nothing to do. Neither does her and Kendra, for that matter, too. I say this is a nice way to build a program, so I feel like Shell Shaw should get the win here, and I think that she will, too. What's your thoughts on this match?
I really don't care for it.
I mean, it is on countdown, to be fair, out of nowhere.
Maybe it's just still a little fresh and everything, and I see where they're pushing towards. But it's one of those situations where I'd like to see where it's going to go next, which is probably after this match. And I do believe Madison Rain's going to pick up the win. but it's going to be by some nefarious means, and whoever's in Giselle's corner is going to play a factor into it, and that's going to set up the tag match later on.
Oh, okay. So you think there might be a little bit of miscommunication or an outside brawl that caused enough of a distraction for Madison Rayne to pick up the win?
Yeah, okay. or just as soon, like we can also have another member added to the influence that evening as well. And that's something that'd be a nice little surprise thing to add to the kickoff show, is another member added to the influence. So yeah, you'd have 2-on-2 for a little bit there. The third member of the influence would slide in and actually help out with the win. So Madison Rayne, I think, is my pick at this point.
All right, well, so far already, Beauty of Impact Wrestling, we're not always the same. We are split 50-50. Shout out to those again.
That's beauty of this place. Nothing is ever cut and dry, and you never really know who to expect. I mean, I think Candice LeRae's contract just expired too. Yes. So she's a free agent. She can pop up anywhere. So
the beauty of women's professional wrestling and the free agents right now. Candice LeRae, Nixon Newell, the former
She is still Knox. Candice Wrestling. She is still married to Johnny Wrestling.
She's always Candice Wrestling. Damn it. Yeah. Then with Johnny Wrestling and of course Quill Wrestling. You got Athena, you got Nixon Newell, Mia Yim, Dakota Kai. Possibilities right now for women's professional wrestling are looking very bright and alive. Not just for those 5, but for the entire aspect of this industry side too. And again, I'm very excited to see what happens to all of those great athletes too, and where the future takes them. Shout out to those that have filled out their predictions so far, including Tommy Impact. Okay, that's funny. Lex, my brother in ATW, Evan, who will be going to Forbidden Door. Have a great time. Holiday, Christopher Mace, Miss Holiday, Rebecca Kennedy, Cindy G, and others. And right now, Jerry, you are in the minority, as 75% picked Giselle and 25% picked Madison Rayne. So we'll see.
It's just the way I am.
I love it. I love it. I love your creative mind. Okay, and again, you once won a night out of sheer circumstance, so weirder things have happened. And with Impact Wrestling, who knows who's going to own the night by the end of it all. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about regarding that. But let's go ahead and move on to our next match within the countdown, as they give us, once again, 2 countdown matches, as it will be Saturday, as we have... Oh, wait. Botch. I forgot. Bay's not part of this. This don't make no sense. He's on the 10-man tag. But hey,
did you get Chris Bay and Rich Swann confused? You racist.
hey, I can handle this despite what people think. But also, I am coming off work and a bank trip and a workout. That's why I'm not in suit right now.
Fine,
I'm all out of whack here. My whole day's been under siege.
Trust me, I had the same moment with Tony Nese the other day on AEW, so it's cool.
Okay, I did hear the whole circumstances about that, and maybe that's a conversation for another time. Maybe
that was weird.
True. But I think Cheeseburger has incredible potential too. But speaking of potential,
both him and Ruffin are both great, but at the same time, like the fact that I couldn't distinguish between the two.
yeah, true. But how about these two? As we got Rich Swann and Laredo Kid duking it out in a one-on-one battle. Former X Division champion versus aspiring X Division champion, in my opinion. Right here, this just feels a little bit odd, especially since we just saw Rich Swann and Willie Mack take on Bullet Club, Chris Bay, and Jay White. Great tag match, lost. And as of right now, Mack made it official on his Twitter. He is a free agent, just like Stu Grayson and so many others. Again, I wish them all the best wherever the future in wrestling guides them through, too. So Rich Swann now, he's a solo act. So this is going to be a big, I feel like, match to try and maybe set him up on bigger things going forward and see what it brings. Laredo Kid, though, he's always been somebody that likes to steal the show and aspire. He's faced the likes of John Skyler. He's been involved with matches, triple threat dances with the likes of Steve Macklin and others. But I feel like right here, this one's kind of odd. This feels kind of hard to call. So I'm going to let you talk about this first.
I think at this point, to avoid Swann being lost in a shuffle, especially since Willie Mack's going to be gone, I think the best thing he could do in this match is go heel. But the best way for that to happen is for him to lose to Laredo Kid and actually, just start having those doubts to himself and start going with a more aggressive style in order to actually pick up more victories, which will lead more into a heel turn. So I'm going to go ahead and say Laredo Kid's going to win, and in a little bit we're going to be starting to see a dark side of Rich Swann.
So we almost saw Dark Heart on AEW. So, I mean, where do things have happened? 75% did go with Rich Swann, though. 25% went with Laredo Kid. And the way I see it, Rich Swann is signed Impact. Laredo Kid, I think, is on like a appearance-based contract, probably like Ishii, Jonah, people that aren't signed.
Which means he wouldn't be able to get the win back, which makes him even more bitter. So that's why I
True.
went with Laredo Kid.
Unless he went to AAA and we saw what Simi Guevara and Ty Conti did down there, and then Penta tried to kill Ty, but I digress. Kudos to her taking that shot.
That'd be cool for him to actually go there and steal a victory. So that's how you get his victory back. That's how he goes into Rudo territory, and that's what he comes back in at Impact as.
It'd be interesting to see Swann as a Rudo or a heel, because I don't think he's ever been that his entire career.
From what I remember, he's always been fan friendly.
Yep, and again, he rolled with Sami Callihan, but I just don't see Swann turning right now. He's going to bring the party, and he's going to unleash Swan Song and probably the 450 Splash and surprise Laredo Kid. I see this being a very fun match, but I actually do have Rich Swann winning too. I am with the majority. That being said, we've covered the countdown. Let's go ahead and get into this 8-match main card, and good Lord Almighty, did they stack it. Rematches from the multiverse matches, revisit rivalries, and so much more too. Why don't we start with this, because I feel like this is the perfect way you always start an Impact Wrestling show too. As the X Division title is on the line is the inevitable Ace Austin, the 3-time X Division champion, and somebody that my best friend Paul Mead saw live at LWR, lucky, takes on hometown boy, literally, Toledo represent, the former X Division champion himself, Trey Miguel. As we saw that wild 3-way dance at Rebellion, it was Ace Austin that did the fold and got the win over, of all people, Trey Miguel. It seems like these two are destined to fight forever. I think right now this is literally 1-1 in these two when it comes to their feud, which really started with Ace having a thing for Trey's mother. How fitting that we talk about that on the weekend of Mother's Day, but I digress. That being said, also, Ace Austin will be involved in Best of Super Juniors. So, do you have him going in there represented as your X Division champion, especially after beating Rock Romero in the very game bout 2 on Thursday? Or do you maybe rattle his comments a little bit, and does Trey get the win here? There's one thing I don't think the X Division title is about, is hot potatoing. But if there's one thing we've also learned, the X Division, there is no limits to the unpredictability. So I can't rule that out either. But right now, he just got it, and I feel Trey can move on again to bigger things. I'd like to see him try and maybe go after the World Championship, maybe call your shot at some point. So thinking about that aspiration, I think that Ace, especially going into the Best Super Juniors and what could come from that, I think Ace is going to retain, by hook or by crook. Maybe a trick up his sleeve, or a card. Your thoughts, Jerry?
Pretty much my feelings on this match, the same feelings about Jordan Devlin. You don't bet against the Ace. And like I said Ace Austin was going to win this last time, and he did. And I think he's going to retain this match. It probably won't be by the cleanest of matters at all, especially since Madman Fulton's not even in the picture anymore. So he's pretty much got to do a lot of this on his own. So it's going to be a lot of shady tactics, but it's going to be a fast-paced and awesome match regardless because of the two guys involved.
Yes.
So I'm all about they could have every match known to man. They could have an Ultimate X match. They could have a cage match. Just let them keep on fighting because it's one of those feuds that can go on forever, and there's always a chance of a different element being added into it. So I'm excited to see where this goes. But for right now, Ace Austin's going to keep the title.
As long as it doesn't turn into Elevation X, because that to me is still the most ridiculous match in X Division TNA history, and we've seen what happens during that. And
I know he's kind of controversial at this point, but I wouldn't mind Nash Carter showing up and being somehow becoming part of this.
And the Rascals in a heelish type way, maybe.
Or maybe he comes back and helps out Austin. We don't know. So
we also don't know the future of him or Kimberly at this point, too, for that matter. But
yeah,
again, different topic. And it is unanimous right now. We are in agreement, and so is everybody in my poll. And again, thank you for those that filled in so far. Get your predictions in, and also like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. It is 100% in favor of the champ. Like you said right now, as far as this says, no one's betting against him. We'll see if that changes. I'd be very surprised if someone did pull a fastball and change it at the last minute. But, we'll see.
If you had the Speedball Mike Bailey match right after this, that would have been a really cool transition there, Noah.
Well, I mean, Jerry, it's not like you see my computer, but since you are talking about it, that clearly was my plan. because I feel like you're looking at the next challenger for the X Division Championship out of this match. As Speedball Mike Bailey goes round 2 with one of the best there is, Alex Shelley. Good Lord Almighty, these two stole the show, in my opinion, in that multiverse of matches. And I'm pretty sure Speedball Mike Bailey, I thought he broke his knees at one point. Then I think about Speed Forward, well, pun intended, and we find Speedball Mike Bailey in that triple threat dance where he was this close to winning the title after kicking Ace Austin's head off. But then Trey got the meteor on him, and it was Ace that saved Speedball from eating the pin, but also Ace saving the title for himself too. We saw the cell backstage where it's like, congrats champ. It's like, are we friends? And I think that Speedball knows what Ace is about, but again, the idea of Speedball Mike Bailey and Ace Austin pleases me extremely. But again, I'm not going to shy away from Alex Shelley, who formerly challenged for the Ring of Honor World Championship. He had a classic with Jay White, fell short in that. And again, as we saw, Speedball Mike Bailey, he got the better of this man too. So it makes me wonder, can he go 2 in a row? This match intrigues me extremely, and again, has potential to steal the show. Most people right now, they are going with Speedball, 83%, while 16% are going with Alex Shelley, one half, of course, of the Motor City Machine Guns. Key word, tag team. Is Alex Shelley focused tag team wrestling, or could this match catapult him maybe towards X Division contention, based on Chris Sabin's history? Jerry, your thoughts on this?
It's weird because I really want to go with Alex Shelley to win and actually pick, avenge his loss that he had against Mike Bailey already, but that would just completely kill any kind of momentum Mike Bailey has at this point and kind of derail a storyline going on between him and Ace Austin. Yes. Unless Austin comes out there for some reason, costs Mike Bailey the match, whether it be inadvertent or not. But I can, you know what? Screw it. Alex Shelley's one of my favorite wrestlers. I stick with him through thick and thin. He's one of the most entertaining guys on the planet. Back in the day with Paparazzi Productions and everything, that was just great television. And I know I'm probably going to lose a point on this one because I know the majority is with Speedball Mike Bailey, but I'm going to go with Alex Shelley. I think if anything, maybe he'll go like a full-on heel route, and then there'll be this whole thing where Chris Sabin's going to be asking him what he's doing. It's like that's not what they're about anymore. And maybe that starts off another program with them, which, I would love to see the Machine Guns just split up for a little bit and just battle each other. Or hell, that could open up for Alex Shelley and Kushida to team back up. And
the time splitters, because we don't know where Kushida is, and
exactly.
People Mike Bailey, that's a match I want to see too. And again,
but you think about that would open up a perfect way for Kushida to slide into Impact Wrestling if Alex Shelley decides to not be in the Motor City Machine Guns anymore because he's trying to focus more on an aggressive style and more about wins than just having fun.
Well, at this point, when you look at the two, it is Chris Sabin right now that seems to be doing stronger in singles action too, and as a singles competitor. So yeah, I do get what you're saying.
That underlying jealousy could happen, but at the same time, I like the idea of Alex Shelley winning, just not by the means he should win. So right. I'm going to go with Alex Shelley to win this match.
Bold, but again, surprising things can happen. But Impact Wrestling does not typically do 50-50 booking, and that's one of their strengths too. So we'll see. But again, I feel like it's going to lead to Speedball versus Ace. That's why I got Speedball winning. It wouldn't surprise me if most people have the same continuity, maybe, outlook towards this too. But again, you have to wait and see. Impact Wrestling, they can surprise the hell out of us. That one show killed me in the league. But I digress. Okay, moving on from there, since we're talking about Motor Machine Guns, why not talk about the other half, right? As we have a renewed revisit rivalry, but also a man's vendetta. As not Mr. Mayhem, that's a Wardlow thing, but the man that brings mayhem for all, Steve Maclin, takes on Hell Sabin, Chris Sabin. And again, these two, it's one of those things where it's like, again, I don't know which way this could go to. As we saw, Steve Maclin out of nowhere literally stole it in that triple threat at Rebellion, where Chris Sabin had Jay White dead to rights. Again, we've seen Steve Maclin now go one-on-one against a guy we'll talk about later in the Stone Pit Bull. Very game, physical bout. Chris Sabin, though, again, extremely dynamic, one of the best of all time. And we've seen him pull out surprise victories over the likes of Moose. Like last year's Summerversary, he also handed Jay White his first singles loss. things right now make me wonder, are both these matches not only giving us the idea towards the future of the Motor City Machine Guns, maybe one of these two going after the X Division title too? Chris Sabin, of course, record time holder. He might go after it again just to go after history. But it also makes me wonder who could benefit more from this match too. Steve Maclin, of course, he felt like he should be challenging for the Impact World Championship, and we now know he's not, based on what Scott D'Amore did. As far as this match goes, most people are actually going with the guy that wants to bring mayhem for all and fulfill his vendetta against Team Impact that thought he was the traitor to begin with. Most people are going with Steve Maclin. I'm actually going to go with Maclin at this point, too. I feel like momentum is on his side, and Chris Sabin does have a lot more enemies, and one of those might come back to haunt him and cause him in this match. Maybe even Alex Shelley, based on kind of what you're alluding to. Maybe build some tension with the Motor City Machine Guns there, too. So I'm actually going to go with Steve Maclin for the win here, and maybe this will push him forward towards getting what he believes he deserves, an Impact World title shot. Jerry, what about you?
Chris Sabin is the gateway. He's pretty much like one of the gatekeepers for Impact Wrestling to the point where, any loss to him can knock you down to the bottom of the card. Any win against him will shoot you further. I think that's what they're really trying to do with Steve Maclin at this point, because Steve Maclin would actually make a pretty cool opponent, and I think for Josh Alexander at this point, I think they have similar yet not so similar styles to the point where they would clash, and it'd be really cool. But Chris Sabin, yeah, he could always take a loss. Yeah, you look at his career, like in Impact Wrestling, he has nothing left to prove. He's just there to either usher in a new generation and train these people how to do things right. And if that's gonna be Steve Maclin getting elevated, that's fine by me. So I think Steve Maclin's gonna pick up the win on Sabin.
Well, hell Sabin, but again, Maclin right now, I see him being definitely a future top-tier title holder.
Sabin is that company's pretty much version of Johnny Gargano, yes, to the point where he's the heart of the company. Like, there's really no doubt about that in my mind. So it's one of those situations where as long as he's in the company, he's going to do his best, what's best for the company. And if that's to ensure the future is safe and in new hands, that's what he's going to do.
There you go. All right, so far we're pretty much unanimous on that too. The poll is right now not fully unanimous, but again, most people are going with the guy that will bring mayhem for all and walks alone. So Maclin for the win, and we'll see what happens with that. All right, as we move on from there, the only thing left are title matches, and honestly, probably what this show is about when you think about the name Under Siege, because ever since these two teams invaded Impact Wrestling, it's literally been gang mentality and faction warfare. Maybe this is the final note here, or maybe this is just the first battle. I guess we'll have to wait and see. That being said, 10-man tag team battle as Bullet Club. Switchblade Jay White, Chris Bay, there he is, happy Saturday, and the Good Brothers, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and the Big LG Luke Gallows, with the returning ELP, El Fantasmal, takes on, of course, Honor No More. And it wouldn't surprise me if Maria Kanellis is in their corner. But of course, I'm talking about OGK, Matt Taven, the Trend, and Mike Bennett, not the Miracle, the very widely unpredictable Vincent, and of course, K-I-N-G, King, Kenny King. This pretty much writes itself. Ever since Honor No More has basically come into Impact Wrestling in full back at No Surrender, it was like, okay, we are the faction that's going to take over this company. We are the focal point. Until Switchblade Jay White came into play and totally turned up the game. And Bullet Club's been running roughshod, not only just Impact Wrestling, but the entire industry, especially after what Matthew Raywalt basically highlighted too, what happened at Dontaku, where it looks like Switchblade Jay White is looking to become the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion over Rainmaker Tsuchika Okada at Dominion, ahead of the Forbidden Door. And Machine Gun Carl Anderson wants to get the Neverweight Championship from newly minted champion Tama Tonga. The good guy. Literally now. Just the good guy. And then, of course, you have the other members of Bullet Club that are all doing their thing. Bay, I'm not sure what he's doing at this point. ELP, former challenger against Josh Alexander for the X-Division Championship. Could ELP maybe go after that again, too? I don't know. I don't remember if he's in Best Super Juniors. I got to look at the field. But that being said, I look at right now both these factions. who gains more in victory, and what does it lead to for the others in defeat? Right now, we know PCO, he won't be involved in this at all. He survived Monsters Ball against Jonah. Whether or not that was the last match for Jonah Impact Wrestling, that's a whole nother note too, but have to wait and see. Hell of a run, though, by the top dog if that is the case. But I think right now, everything regarding this industry, whether it's Impact, AEW, or NJPW, it is all Bullet Club. So I feel right now that Bullet Club is going to get the win here. And I don't think this is going to be elimination, but it might lead to something like that in a Leavable Lockdown Foundation. Later on, maybe Slammiversary. But I'm going with Bullet Club right now for the win. So you can choose sweep me on that or go against me. That's up to you. But Jerry, let's get your thoughts on this too. What do you guys say?
I'm about to say a lethal lockdown match between those two factions would be sweet.
Yes.
Too sweet even.
Yes.
But yeah, I definitely see the Bullet Club picking up the win. Maybe I have another member actually show up to like uneven the odds because as much as Bullet Club is popular and everything, they're heels. They're full on heels.
They're the true heels in this match versus the other factions that are heelish, but still.
Yeah, basically, like you have both evils going on here. Just like one group's more evil than the other. So I'm going to go with Bullet Club, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of their newest members, Juice Robinson, doesn't show up.
Well, we know Juice Robinson will definitely be busy next weekend at Capital Collision, where he will be involved in a fatal four-way for the IWGP United States Championship against Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley, and the current champion, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
See, I knew that.
New Japan. Again, what in the world is going on here? Juice Robinson and Bullet Club? I didn't see that coming from a mile away. I thought he was done. Surprise.
I kind of had an inkling that he was going to be doing something like that because he said he was done under the New Japan banner. He didn't say he was done wrestling there. He just said he was done with the New Japan wrestling like that.
Right, and that's a fair concept. Most people, by the way, they're also with us, and that's a too sweet. 83% picked the Bullet Club, 16% picked Honor No More. Again, what is Honor No More's future? They thrive in chaos. They make opportunity out no matter what. Win or loss, I still see them going bonkers in Impact Wrestling. Maybe going after Violent by Design or the tag team champions of their time. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah,
or they just fracture off and start doing their own thing for a little while. They don't necessarily have to be all together all the time to make an impact.
True.
So,
I mean, look what happened with the Inner Circle.
This would actually give them a chance for the OGK to go after a tag belts. Kenny King possibly going for the X Division belt.
Right.
Vincent probably start going into some more like Monster Ball type matches just to discover more of a hardcore, establish more of the hardcore because the Monsters Ball match between PCO and Jonah. Oh my god! All right, but
not human.
It was a fun one, and yes. I think Vincent would be like a cool addition to that kind of thing. Or maybe he'll even splinter off and do something with Decay, which would be pretty interesting as well.
Decay gets another member. Good Lord Almighty!
Maybe they get another member. Maybe they get an enemy. It doesn't really matter which, but it would be an entertaining program regardless. But for right now, yes, Bullet Club's going to pick up the win.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Decay, you're talking about more members, you're talking about more of this, more of that. Are they going to add more gold to their waist in a former Knockouts champion as Jessica Havoc takes on the Boricua Badass Tasha Steelz for the Knockouts World Championship? And basically, this writes itself. As we saw, these budding feud has developed between Evans, Tasha, Rosemary, and Havoc. Rosemary had a great match against Tasha, even misting Evans in the face. Still came up short after Tasha pulled off a ridiculous, I'm not sure what that finisher was, after she went for her big crucifix bomb, and that was also short too off the top rope. But regardless, she overcame former multiple-time Knockouts champion Rosemary. Since then, though, Decay has definitely played their strength, the mind games, and have taken hostage, or maybe to the undead realm for all we know, Tasha's friend, her heavy, Savannah Evans. So it looks like truly this might be one-on-one if Decay is not in Havoc's corner, but are Rosemary and Havoc ever separate at this point? I don't know. That being said, I serve the Shadow, Demon X Bunny for life, always a fan of Rosemary, but again, when it comes to Tasha Steelz, she is owning herself and her potential as the Knockouts champion. It does kind of seem like right now, Even though it makes sense based on this feud, this was kind of rushed into. So something tells me, by hook or by crook, because that is her way. Maybe Evans finds a way out of the undead realm, too. I do have Tasha Steelz retaining. What about you?
That's my mentality about it too. They're trying to build her up. Like it got off to kind of a rocky start with her, especially after Kira Hogan left and everything.
Yes.
So, but like now they're actually like trying to do their best to actually make her into a legit champion, which is something that like the Knockouts division actually does need. Especially since for a while there, like we discussed this at the last pay per view, the Knockouts title was becoming like a secondary thought to pretty much anything that Deonna Purrazzo was doing. So now now all the eyes are actually going to be back on her. So it only makes sense that Tasha Steelz actually keeps the belt for a little while longer.
Yeah, and again, if she loses the title, it might be at Slammiversary, but I expect a big time opponent.
That's an ideal time. That is a good title run because we saw Mayday like shortly after Under Siege, so there's no telling what's going to happen there. And then that just seems legit. I think we're going to keep Tasha Steelz having the belt for a little while longer.
Right. It's going to take somebody special to take it off for her, too, within that Knockouts division, or maybe a surprise newcomer, too. And again, with the amount of, well, I mean, yeah, with the amount of free agents that we talked about, that's definitely a potential name there. And again, folks, support and respect women's professional wrestling. And that's all I got to say about that. Most people do believe the champ's going to retain too. 83%, basically the same pie literally as the last match. Mm-hmm. And 16% do believe in Havoc. Regardless, Jessica is going to wreak havoc, but I just don't see her leaving with the title. Should be a fun match, though. Good luck overcoming this obstacle.
I could actually see a rematch coming, and it'll be like a street fight of some sort, and that'll be even better. So,
well, I mean, she already survived one with Mickie James, but I could see them doing the idea. But then again, I wonder, does Chelsea Green have maybe desires?
Or it'll be a women's Monsters Ball match.
I feel they're going to do something very special, though, for the Knockouts division, particularly for this title when it comes to Slammiversary. Again, last year, Deonna Purrazzo, insert name here, I saw her face Thunder Rosa live. That was freaking awesome. But I digress. All right, let's keep going on from there, as again, all we got left is championship matches. What do you know? But here's one I'm definitely intrigued by because, again, who leads with the gold? Is it a family or a brotherhood? I really wonder if there is a plan here by design. As them boys, the Briscoes, Ring of Honor's greatest tag team of all time, and I stand by that with how many times they held those titles, 12 times, I believe, take on Violent by Design. And again, we have no idea which two it's going to be, but just alone in this graphic, it kind of makes me think it will be Eric Young and the anomaly, I like to call him, Joe Doring. Okay, this is pretty straightforward too. As again, Violent by Design, they survived that 8-team elimination challenge where there was really only like 5 other legitimate challengers to them, just saying. But also, luck of the draw, come on now. They came out last. They only had to overcome one team, and that was keeping Rhino burying the hatchet.
That's what I'm saying. I hate gauntlet matches. I hate them.
Yeah, it does get annoying at times. There were some fun moments, though. I definitely enjoyed the opening bit with Chelsea Green and the BQE. Again, that bitch is tough. That's all I got to say about that. I love the hot mess. That being said, respect Chelsea. That being said, them boys, they came in like a hellfire and literally came into Heath and Rhino's opportunity to go after those titles one more time. Great number 1 contenders match, the opening of Impact Wrestling a couple weeks ago, and since then, them boys, they've been jaw-jacking what they are. That is, we them boys, we the Briscoes, we here now. Until he talks about Eric Young, of course, talks about how you guys are brothers, we are a family. What is stronger here? Does it come to Eric Young's mentality, or does it come to the Briscoes and their communication and their tag team wrestling? Is this finally the time that them boys become Impact Tag Team Champions? And are they around for the long haul? Or, right now, is this just a filler maybe for something bigger, some anniversary for Violent by Design that truly have been the standard bearer tag team of Impact Wrestling? Oh, geez, as a whole. I'm a little torn on this one, I gotta be honest with you. But right now, most people, 83%, man, these pies are all the same. They went with them boys, the Briscoes, so it sounds like they think they will be around for the long haul. Jerry, what about you? Again, it's Ring of Honor.
I honestly don't think it's going to be a long haul that the Briscoes will be around. but I think they're actually going to take the belts off of Violent by Design at this show, just to get it off them for a little while.
Hmm.
Um, like basically, even if the Briscoes are going to be around for a short time, you're going to want the belts on them for a little bit to just improve the stature of the belt in itself, because the tag division really isn't that deep right now, because we discussed that a few minutes ago. A lot of teams for the gauntlet match, it seemed like they were kind of hodgepodged in at the last second.
Yes.
I mean, Morrissey and Grace.
I wouldn't mind seeing that team, though, for the tag titles. I'm just saying. But
yeah, that'd be fine, too. But at the same time, there's only so much that you can actually do, and especially if you're only going to have Jay and Mark Briscoe for a short time, having them listed as former, current or former Impact champions, that's going to take the belt up that much further of a notch. So I could actually see them winning the belts. How long they'll hold on to them, that's up in the air. But at the same time, they've dropped many belts over the past couple of months, so that frees up their schedule a lot. And if that means touring with Impact for a little while and just adding more legitimacy to its already awesome stretch, great. So I see the Briscoes picking up the win.
I mean, the Briscoes recently coming off contending for the NWA Heavyweight Tag Team Championships against La Rebellion on NWA. They were recently GCW Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and now that's in Effie and Alley Catch's grips. And then, of course, they were the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and they lost those in an absolute classic match of the year candidate against FTR. So, yeah, they definitely elevate tag team wrestling, no matter what set of titles they have or wherever they go. And I don't think they're slowing down anytime soon either. So having the Impact titles part of their resume, I think is a pretty cool thing too, especially if they come into those as the champs at Slammiversary. I expect big things at Slammiversary this year too. Can't wait to predict all that. So I actually do agree with you. I think that them boys are going to surprise us and upset Violent by Design too. I got new tag champs. So again,
you'd actually consider it an upset?
Well, I partly because
that's a weird way of putting it.
Well, again, a freeboard rule, and them boys coming out of nowhere, overcoming Vibe Design, who just got the titles back recently themselves.
I can see where that could be an upset there, because it almost feel like a handicap match. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you can overcome the threesome of Vibe by Design with just the two of you, especially when you're an outside force that's never faced these three either too, I consider that an upset. I mean, when Finjuice came in, even though it was a standard tag match, I didn't think they would beat the Good Brothers in their debut. And they did for the tag titles. Of course, that would never happen again. Finjuice is dead. But I digress. Unless David Finlay ever joins Bullet Club. But that's just going way in the weeds. That ain't happening. Nah. But here's something I wonder that might happen. Again, I talk about her greatness, her legacy, the excellence in technical execution. Forever and long may she reign, not just in titles, but just in professional wrestling. When it comes to a more predominant name in the industry, not just in women's wrestling, but in pro wrestling, Deonna Purrazzo is definitely in my top three, and should be in many people's top threes too. And once again, we see now, can she reclaim a crown and humble La Brea Loca too, as the Lucha Libre Triple A Reina de Reinas Championship is on the line in a rematch as La Brea Loca and the four-time champion Taya Valkyrie, who has had so much history with this title, takes on the former champion herself, and a proud one at that too, Deonna Purrazzo, La Virtuosa. Again, honestly, these two are also 1-1. This is a rubber. We saw it hard to kill, as she alluded to. Deonna Purrazzo took Taya Valkyrie's arm and sent her off to prison too. Blah. And then Taya Valkyrie, she came back, and she got the better of Deonna Purrazzo, sending her to Valhalla and reclaiming the title she never truly lost to. Deonna Purrazzo, of course, recently coming off a great main event match against Mercedes Martinez at AEW Dynamite. Unfortunately, fell short, dropped the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, but again, honor was gained after the bout too. Shout out to her gear, by the way, being the throwback with the yellow and black. Very nice homage too. Incredible legacy what Deonna Purrazzo's done so far in pro wrestling. That being said, it's one of those things, like she says, it's not the championship that makes the champion. It's the champion that makes the championship. Yeah. And she's already elevated both those titles, like I said, during her champ reign. 7 successful defenses, 4 and 3 when you look at both of those belts. But I think about Deonna Purrazzo and her future. Is she once again going to become the Knockouts champion? What else is there for her to do to elevate the Knockouts division that's already so prominent as it is in Impact Wrestling? And do you literally, Taya Valkyrie, does she tap out to the Virtuosa again just like that and lose this title with so much pride in her Lucha Libre heritage? And again, I say AAA fits La Vera Loca more than anybody right now. I'm torn because, again, Deonna Purrazzo, but I think about the future of this title. I think about the future of both these athletes, and we know that they're going to be involved in AAA regardless, one way or another. But someone tell me right now, Taya, she's free, man, and she's freaking loving it, and this title just fits her to a T. So I do have Taya Valkyrie retaining. What about you?
I think Taya's gonna I think she's gonna retain. There's a lot more heritage and whatnot going on with that title, and the Mexican culture like taking their title reigns very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So
See.
I don't like the idea of it being hot potato right back onto Deonna Purrazzo, even though at this point her match with Mercedes Martinez, I discussed it in my armbar group, was the fact that like I hate the fact that there was really no build to that match, and there's only so many appearances that Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Martinez actually had made on AEW television at all. Like collectively, probably like on both hands, you probably couldn't count them.
Correct.
So a lot of these people didn't really know how special these two were and how great that match should have been. So they're just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. The place should have been bumping. It should have been great, but it wasn't. And it kind of took me out of the match a little bit. Is the fact that I'm looking at this crowd like, come on, people. This is what we've been waiting for. Women to get their shot and be in the main event and everything. And this is how we're going to treat them. Okay, but Deonna Purrazzo, I think, will go on to challenge probably for the Knockouts Championship, or maybe she'll actually head over to Ring of Honor and try to get the belt off Mercedes Martinez. Either way, she's not done. She's going to be forever evolving. She's going to be forever just kicking ass. And she'll eventually, if she's not now, she will be the standard bearer for women's wrestling. But that night will not be her night. I think Taya Valkyrie is actually going to pull off the win.
Like I said, again, it's the era of the Virtuosa. Long may she reign. And as long as she keeps doing what she's doing, I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
Her whole mentality is it's not the championship that makes the champion, it's the champion that makes the championship. Pretty much with her, she doesn't need a belt to prove how awesome she is.
No.
So basically, she can go off without a title for a little while. That'll just make the next title win she gets be that much more special. It's just right now, it's just not that time.
Right, and again, she's already cemented a legacy in professional wrestling, bar none, and she is just starting as far as I'm concerned. I would love to see her mixed up with Stardom, if that's really going to come to be a thing, too. That being said, most people do agree with us. 75% believe in La Vera Loca will retain. Deonna Purrazzo is 25%, and as far as what the future holds for both of these incredible athletes, we'll have to just wait and see with, again, Summerversary, AAA. I would not count out AEW again too, but also like you said, it was the first day officially. Tony Khan, sole proprietary owner of Ring of Honor, Double or Nothing around the corner. After that, I feel like he's going to build something big towards Ring of Honor's next show too. I feel at this point we're just waiting to hear TV streaming deal with HBO Max or Warner Brothers Media or whatever else may be going on. I'm not inside that business bubble, but I feel big things are to come for Ring of Honor's reboot if Supercard of Honor showed us anything.
Yep.
All right. Moving on from there, we're down to our last match in this fun card. And again, we talk about professional wrestling. We talk about legacies. Well, here, I think you just talk about mentality. As when it comes to this guy, you either hit him hardest or he's going to hit you the hardest until you can't take anymore. One of my favorites in the industry. I cannot wait for this match, Jerry. Enough said. As the walking weapon, Josh Alexander defends the Impact World Championship against my boy, Stone Pitbull, representative of Chaos, and he lives, eats, sleeps, and breathes strong style, Tomohiro Ishii. Let's fucking go. All right, folks. Yes. I saw that match at Windy City Ride against Minoru Suzuki. I keep watching it over and over again. He overcame
Mhm.
the King. He also overcame Jolda, including vertical drop brainbustering him at Rebellion, and most recently took on Steve Macklin, where it was man for all, but he still fell short to the vertical drop brainbuster. This was the hand-picked opponent that Scott D'Amore picked for the walking weapon. I say it all the time. Tomohiro Ishii deserves to be a world heavyweight champion with the quality that he brings and the mentality that he also lives by in this world of professional wrestling. The guy literally sleeps on buses, for Pete's sake, like it's comfortable. He's got a dent in his head. His arm has so much nerve damage. That's why he wears that, just to make sure that he actually feels something, and he still tightens it as much as possible just to try and take your dang head off. Endorsed by Shinsuke Nakamura, multiple-time never openweight champion, six-man never openweight champion, and heavyweight tag team champion on New Japan Pro Wrestling. But right now, again, it is Josh Alexander. It is the walking weapon. We saw how far he was willing to go and what he was willing to take, and also what he wanted to get to when he took Moose on. Not once, but twice. Moose is now officially in the past. He's behind him. With Slammiversary around the corner, I just cannot see nobody else in this company right now representing that title than the walking weapon. You want to talk about putting your championship through the test? This will be Josh Alexander's toughest test to date. But somehow, jacked up jaw probably, I do have Josh Alexander retaining. But this is going to be so much freaking fun to watch. And I hope it's not a one-off for Ishii in Impact Wrestling. Jerry, your thoughts on this match? I feel the result is obvious, but what we're going to see, that's where the fun's going to be.
Yeah, I like the idea that this match is going to be extremely brutal. It's going to be extremely physical. It's not going to be a long match, not by any means. It's going to be hard hitting, and it's going to be not really fast, but it's going to be brutal to a point where I don't see it going past 10 minutes. But
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. We've seen the fuel tanks of these. I'll just put this perspective for you.
yeah,
Chris,
but
Chris,
I think the harder they hit each other is going to like shorten the match that much more.
well, I mean, look at Ishii.
I like the idea of Josh Alexander being able to put away to Ishii in less than that 10-minute mark, because it'll show how strong he is, and like how much more durable actually he is than Ishii, and that's what they need at this point. But I like the idea of the aftermath of that match possibly being, a handshake, show of respect or something, and then I'm going to keep on saying this until it actually happens. Callahan returns and attacks Ishii for being the handpicked person by Scott D'Amore over him. The draw. That would just be that just seems appropriate. And the Stone Pitbull versus Sami Callihan at the next pay-per-view, or possibly even Slammiversary, that's the match. That's the match that you want to have, especially if it's going to be kind of pulling Callahan back up to where he needs to be after his injury. So, but I'm thinking Alexander was going to pull this one off, and if because Callahan teased on Twitter that he's going to possibly be at that last one, because he had So basically, yeah, that's one of the reasons I tuned in so much. I was like, okay, Callahan's going to pop back up. He didn't. He punked me. He does that, but at the same time, this him being quiet about this, and then the fact that Scott D'Amore used the words handpicked, that just says a lot to me. So I can see him getting bitter and jealous and mad and coming back into this. Maybe that leads to him versus Ishii for another number one contenders match to face Josh Alexander at the Slammiversary, and then we get Callahan Alexander at Slammiversary.
I feel regardless, we're going to see Sami Callihan at Slammiversary, because I'm pretty sure EGV is Sami Callihan, where everything goes violent.
Yeah,
it just screams to me Sami Callihan at this point. I can't think of anybody else or any other thing that EGV could be, as we keep seeing that vignette, and we're likely going to see that here. Whether or not that actually reveals Sami Callihan, we'll have to wait and see. But I definitely see Sami Callihan returning before Slammiversary. There's no way he's missing that. That being said, again, Ishii, he's done matches up to 16, 20 minutes against the likes of Taiji, Minoru Suzuki, Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson. So honestly, this could go the distance. And if you think about main event, maybe that's what they want. But again, it is a stat card. Honestly, it's more stat. It's a longer card than Rebellion by one match. But that's also because right now this is not overtaken by a gauntlet. So it's one of those things where it's like it's hard to say how long this is going to be, but I'm just going to enjoy every minute of it because at the end of the day, I'm just going to see who hits the other harder in the face, and sometimes that's all I want to see. But I digress. That being said, you did bring up a couple of interesting things to figure out when it comes to Slammiversary, Semi Callahan. It almost makes me wonder between now and Slammiversary, they're going to have another monthly special in between. I would think they have to have something, but I'm just not sure. And again, thinking about who could be involved at Slammiversary, returning newcomer through the Forbidden Door or the Catalyst, as whatever you call it, especially since Slammiversary is the weekend before Forbidden Door and also after Dominion. Just keeping that in mind. So there's a lot of moving parts here that I'm wondering, okay, what the heck's going to happen next? What's going to go on? Who's going to show up? Tetsuya Naito? Okay, that's maybe a long shot.
The crazy part about this pay-per-view is as stacked as it is and how many great matches we're getting. This is almost could almost be considered a filler that we're getting before Slammiversary.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the appetizer. This is like the waiters just brought us our drinks. It brought us that little those chips with the salsa, and now he's asking if we want some like the queso dip to go with it. Like so, basically, that's what we're getting right now. We're getting the queso dip, and now we're looking at the menu of what's going to be Slammiversary, and we're getting the main course right there.
Yes, and then Slammiversary is going to collide with everybody under one umbrella: AAA, NWA, AEW, NJPW, and you have no idea who's going to show up, who's going to be in the main event, etc. But I do think at least one thing is definitely going to happen at Slammiversary. Josh Alexander is coming in as Impact World Champion against who? We're going to have to wait and see. Everything else for me is completely up in the air when it comes to the Knockouts division, the X division, everything. I can't predict one other thing that I think truly is going to be possible to see at Slammiversary.
The only thing I would
hate a stretch too at this point.
The only thing I would hate for Slammiversary is for like the world title match to be either a triple threat or a four quarters match. It needs to be a one-on-one matchup. And in order to have a one-on-one matchup, we need to build a new rivalry. And I think the first person or best person to do that at this point would be Callahan. And that's why I have him coming back at this pay-per-view and set up a program to lead all the way into that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, that being said, we're just going to have to wait and see what lies ahead for Impact Wrestling as we're just under literally a day away. So, again, I can't wait. But again, Jerry, good luck. This is fun. I'll definitely write these down. And good luck to everybody else. I hope more people join into the league. And I hope that you all enjoyed the video too and continue enjoying these fun little discussions. We love to get your thoughts, comments, even questions regarding Impact Wrestling too. Because again, Impact, they're going to own the weekend. That's for darn sure. And some of the opinions of the panelists here in the thing. This was let's see here. I actually got some comments here from my league results. So I love getting people's opinions. This was a hard one. I wanted Arnold more to win. I also want Bullet Club to win also. Sammy returns, but not alone. Show of the weekend. A strong card. Can't wait to see what happens. Purrazzo is the best female wrestler right now. Stacked. Some good comments, and I definitely believe in that one about Deonna Purrazzo. Again, Deonna Purrazzo owns the industry. I just want to see it now mixed up with somebody in Stardom. Just saying. But that's really all I got to say about that. So, again, Jerry, time is ahead of us. But for now, I think that's a good way to conclude another simple and impactful duo panel. Always fun. Always a pleasure with you, too. Anything you want to plug and promote, where can people find you?
Just my Twitter account, which is Gerald_JSJ. And my Facebook group, Armbar, all capital, ARMBAR. Exclamation
point. Don't forget it. Yes, I realize the picture has changed. I did not update it. Botch.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. That one's classic, so it's cool. I
feel that was fitting after that picture too, to be fair.
Oh yeah, so
but continue.
That worked out very well. But yeah, like I like we talk about all wrestling. I pretty much have as a rule there. It's like there's no such thing as a bad wrestling company at this point. It's like if you want to promote your own, or if you want to promote something you enjoy, go for it, because we're all wrestling fans, and that's really all that should really matter.
Just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. It's as simple as that. It's what I live, eat, sleep, and breathe, and encourage every day too. Jerry, always a pleasure, man. Folks, again, you want to know more about me? Know this, I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! God bless the greatness and goodness in this industry. But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to the ATW crew on Twitter. It's not a rival against No DQ, by the way. It's just an internet family of friends that I've come to connect with, too. But we will be doing another ATW View live Monday night, talking about Owen, Trios titles, Best of Super Juniors, and so much more. I got a very busy weekend ahead of me as we just did the Semi Powerful Duo panel. I'll be doing an AEW Rampage recap with the lovely, just Cindy G, for the Daily Slam. And also, if I'm not out for Mother's Day with my family and my mother, God bless her, I will be providing play-by-play coverage and commentary on the Jeff Meacham Network for both Under Siege and WrestleMania Backlash. And then again, Monday night, the live TW View with so much talk about the Owen and more too, right here, live on this YouTube channel, and Jay Hubert Side 95's YouTube channel too. As always, I like to close, there are no winners, no losers, no bears, just fans with own opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another and respect each other. Don't be a smark, and just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell, know this video goes live on this channel on demand. Hit the subscribe button, help me keep growing this channel. Shout out to all 231 of you who've been with this fun YouTuber creator's journey. It's not letting up anytime soon. And again, go check out the ATW View. The entire playlist is on my YouTube. And also, I did do a WrestleMania Backlash Galaxy panel. Go check that out. And go get your predictions in for that too. Both forms are available on NoDQ and also on my Twitter as well. Last but not least, say yes to No DQ. It's a fun community. It's not all toxic, believe it or not, too. And you don't need Britney Spears to tell you that. For Jerry Under Siege, till the next time we come together, whether it's Double or Nothing, Impact Wrestling, or something else altogether, I am the Simplin Noah Foster. I thank you all for tuning in, and as always, I like to conclude in a simple way. Make a positive impact in life, and have a good night. That's all I gotta say about that.